Okay, so last year at Halloween we did this, so I'm doing this again. I have no idea why I'm so obsessed with this Peacemaker design, but we're doing it. I think that every time I do this, he has like a different energy. Like the first time he looks like a really mischievous child, and the next one he looks like a really mischievous teenager who's trying to hide that he's mischievous. Um, and I was aiming for like a combination of the two in this one. I really like seeing how my style has shifted over the years. Now I've stated before that I do not like when hybrids are just a slightly recolored version of one tribe. I feel like they should have like some of the body plan in there as well. So naturally, of course, I have beef with the original Darkstalker design. Now, recoloring one tribe, that's one thing, it's acceptable. Like Sunny, well no, Sunny doesn't have a tail. Whiteout, I do like Whiteout's design, and she does seem to just be like a slightly recolored Nightwing, like she has the white underwings. I mean, if I were to ever draw her, I think I would draw her with the like more Icewing body plan, just because, but like, like Darkstalker doesn't even have that much recoloring. He just has like the two little strips near his wings. So I don't really like the Darkstalker design, and I also don't like the official Peacemaker design, which is why I give him the ruff and the brown horns. So yeah, that's like a little explanation of the design. I'm not quite sure if I've talked about Peacemaker on my channel before. If I have, it was a while ago, but I think he's okay. Like, from what I can tell, there's a group in the Wings of Fire community that doesn't really like him, and basically is like, it's just Darkstalker, but like, I'm not gonna argue that, like, in this video, but from my perspective, like, what happened isn't any functionally different than if they killed Darkstalker and Peacemaker was produced as a byproduct of it somehow. Like, it might have made Hope and Moon feel better about it, but I genuinely don't see the difference. Like, Darkstalker is gone, Peacemaker is back, we cannot contact Darkstalker, probably. I mean, if you had Animus magic, you probably could, but you'd need another Animus to be born because there's no more Animuses, because Jeroboa did a thing. Yeah. I feel like that was kind of a cop-out because they didn't want them solving the, Poison Jungle thing with Animus magic, but, we all, write ourselves into corners sometimes, None of us are perfect, 2ET Sutherland writes yourself into corners, the Aarons, just don't give a shit about the books that they're producing. I have anger issues, and, certain individuals can't mind their own business. We all have our issues. There's nothing wrong with, like, accidentally writing yourself into a corner as long as you have a reasonable way to get out of that corner. And you know what? While I think that it's a little bit obvious that, it's because she was written into a corner, I don't think that if we're just looking at it as a story and not from like a writing perspective, genuinely, I don't see why, like, I don't really think it's that out of character for Jeroboa. You know what I mean? Like, you get it. Like, yeah. Anyways, so I really like the, redraw in this. Like, I like how it turned out. Like, I think the splatter is a lot better than both the first one and the second one. Like, I like the splatter the most out of all of them, probably because I wasn't afraid to mix it. Like, Adobe Fresco, it'll sort of, like, overlap and mix if it's, like, a certain type of brush. And I think that's probably why it looks, like, pretty good. But, that's just, like, a theory. But I actually really like this Peacemaker. I think it's the best one I've had. And if you're watching this and you're an artist, I would advise you to redraw something of yours that's at least a couple months old, like maybe 6 months-ish. Like, do that, like, at least once every other month or so. It's good, especially if you feel like your art style is stagnating. Like, it can really, show you what, like, how good you actually are, because, like, you might think that you're not growing or something, but that's why we keep measurements on the wall, you feel? Anyways, it's getting late, and I need to go to the mall, to hang out with my friends, so I am going to see you on Friday. Goodbye.